informative speech on breed-specific legislation. This is my audience, my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. Breed-specific legislation is what some people could consider a holocaust of an actual breed. Breed-specific legislation is legislation that's taking place at either state or local government, and it outlaws or puts guidelines on having actual certain types of breeds, ranging from the Rottweiler to the German Shepherd to the most common, the Pit Bull. Now, the legislation also provides guidelines on how shelters work. My dog here, can you see it? My dog here, Raider, we adopted him out of Seattle, Washington. He was at a kill shelter for pit bulls, and they had him labeled as a pit bull at just 6 months. So he's actually was scheduled to get killed within 3 days of when we actually saw him. The dog, although does carry pit bull characteristics, it also has boxer characteristics. So I was able to persuade the people there at the shelter to change his label from boxer to pit bull. Well, the shelter administrator said that fine, they'll go ahead and do that and save the dog's life, but under one condition, that I would take him and adopt him myself. So me and my wife took him in, and he was one of the sweetest dogs ever. As you can see in those pictures, he has other dogs there, and friendliest dog we've ever had. Now, breed-specific legislation also has pros. A lot of people, real influential people in the animal rights world, have considered BSL as a necessary item to keep the community safe. And I will be discussing those pros and cons along with states that have legislation to prevent BSL or legislation that has allowed BSL. BSL in the community, it's unknown if the BSL is actually working, or if the statistics are tainted. The reason why is the people that are responsible owners of dogs are usually the people that are abiding by the laws. The dogs that are usually involved in these cases of where they attack animals or other people are usually people that don't abide by the laws to begin with. So therefore, those people are not abiding by the BSL laws, or just being responsible owners at all. PETA's president, Ingrid Newkirk, is an actual big supporter of BSL. She wrote a book where she supported the BSL, and for somebody that is pro animals, that wants to save animals, to support a legislation like this, an interruption in the video. But as I was saying, somebody at that level of president, PETA's president, to support legislation like that gives the legislation some kind of importance. Somebody at that level that believes that legislation like this will help the community be safer, gives it some credibility. Now, pit bulls have been responsible for the deaths of people ranging from 18 months old to 91 years old in 2013, which is why pit bulls get one of the biggest raps for this BSL legislation. The pit bull, in my opinion, is misunderstood because of its strength and its tenacity, which why it does make them a dangerous breed if they're not properly cared for. The animal was bred to fight and to kill, so therefore when it attacks with the intention of killing, not like your typical dog where it would bite and retreat. Now, cons to this type of legislation is, again, you're subjecting dogs that really have no the word I'm looking for. The dogs that really have no say in how they're raised. different animals are raised differently. Therefore, just like people, they have their own characteristics by the way they're raised. Now, pit bull owners, for the most part, are people that don't are not responsible, and sadly, the breed is the one that pays the price. And also another big thing about the legislation is that it affects families. It takes the dog away from the family. A lot of people see family as dogs as part of the family, like we did with Raider. It would have broken our heart if we had to get rid of them because of some type of legislation like that. Now, me being in the military now, I'm a reservist, but military bases all over the country have BSL, and they have restrictions on breeds. And that affects families because if I was active duty and I'm going from here to my new duty station and I have to stay on government housing and I'm not allowed to take my dog with me, that's pretty much taking a family member away from me and therefore making the transition a little tougher. Now, along with that, back to the kill shelters, it also, kills innocent dogs like Raider would have been if this kind of legislation goes through. Along with that, Washington, where we got Raider from, is a big proponent of BSL. A lot of their different municipalities have different types of BSL, fines, higher licenses. States like Denver, cities like Denver, counties like Miami-Dade and Florida, they all have BSL. There's also states like Texas that outlaws any type of BSL legislation within the state. The state actually has laws that prevents communities to doing this kind of legislation, which is great in my opinion. Again, there's no actual evidence on how the legislation is working because of what I explained earlier, where people that actually abide by the laws don't actually have this issue. People that abide by the laws, people that care for their animals, don't have the dangerous animals. But as this picture here does say that pit bulls are responsible for 32% of fatal dog bites. And again, most of these dogs are Rottweilers, German Shepherds, Dobermans, dogs that are usually named on BSL, which is why the debate still ranges: is BSL good or is BSL bad?